Breaking news.
The breaking news we are following closely. Former Vice President Dick Cheney has passed away. He was 84. Cheney was the 46th Vice President and served alongside former President George W. Bush for 2 terms between 2001 and 2009. Cheney was known as a chief architect of war in Iraq following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. While Cheney was a former representative from Wyoming, he was actually born in Lincoln, Nebraska, and lived here for many years as a kid. He is survived by his wife, Lynn, his daughters, Liz and Mary, and his 7 grandchildren. We'll have much more coverage about this throughout the day. It's good to have you with us as we start our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley.
And I'm Cerise Coleman with meteorologist Jared Lansford. Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord is back, bringing some good news this morning for the most part. How does 70 degrees sound for you today? That certainly sounds good to me, Russ.
And I went and checked. The record's 76. So
okay.
You can get some days like this in November, but today's going to be pretty darn good no matter how warm we get. And you can see 69 to 70 degrees for the majority of the area. A couple of low 70s would not surprise me. 71, 72 for some of you. So right now, I think 70 is a good place to go on average across the city for our afternoon high. Got some clouds to get rid of this morning. They're moving east. We're at 45, a little bit of a southeast breeze, not too much to worry about there. And you can see a lot of mid 40s as you start off the day. 40 in Blair, a little colder pocket up here. Might be some bad thermometer data there, but 41 in Wahoo, getting some isolated spots that are a little bit colder. Tacoma down to 38, Norfolk at 38, so a couple of those showing up. That's warm compared to where we're going to be in a little while. First alert forecast through the day today takes you from the 40s this morning to near 50 at 9, lower 60s by noon, 60s all afternoon, to right around 70 for the high today. Again, when we talk about the high temperature this time of year, it's happening around 3 o'clock because the sun sets close to 5 now, and that just keeps getting earlier and earlier. So the temperatures will drop off pretty quickly this evening, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Overnight tonight, 50s gradually fall off into the 40s to start off tomorrow morning. And another day where we start off pretty similar to what we have this morning, 40s out the door. One thing to watch, a little bit of a south breeze today. 5 to 15 miles per hour. That picks up overnight. Heading towards early tomorrow morning, you got some gusts up near 30, 35 to start off the day tomorrow. But it's not going to be an all-day thing on Wednesday. A little breezy to start Wednesday. That just ushers in some cooler air. 70 to 57, then back up to 62 on Thursday, the way things are looking. So air, very fast pattern. This is the way I think a lot of winter is going to end up going, is a lot of quick moving cold bursts. Yeah. Everything going through our area very, very fast.
Okay, in the meantime, let's look ahead to, of course, the weekend. That's what nobody really wants to talk about, but of course we must.
Yeah, it's got about, the cold air is coming. The coldest air of the season on the way. There might even be a few snowflakes to go along with it. So, First Alert 6 weather day here to talk about on Saturday night into Sunday morning. I think a quick burst of some Saturday evening rain, maybe a little bit of melting snow in it. Probably not a huge impact, but the first snowflakes of the season can be a little startling. Watch for some of those Saturday evening. Then that races out of here quickly. Northwest wind gusts up over 40 miles per hour Saturday night. So that should dry things out. Not a huge issue there. And then a hard freeze Saturday night into Sunday morning. Probably the bigger story. Widespread 20s on the map. And a burst of colder air that lasts for a couple of days. And you can see, watch how this dives in here Saturday night into Sunday. We're kind of grazed by it, and then it slides east heading into Monday and Tuesday. So short-lived, but it's something to watch. And look what the lows do. We have not had anything colder officially than about 30 to 31 in Omaha. So these will be widespread 20s. This will be cold enough to freeze up garden hoses, water lines, anything that's above ground. Anything below ground should still be okay for a couple of mornings down here in the 20s. The ground's not going to freeze up, but a couple of things to watch here. Saturday night, notice how the chance of rain or snow isn't all that great, but the first flakes of the season could be a little bit startling. We got Sunday and Monday morning to watch for, then it rebounds nicely, back up near 60 by the middle of next week. So that's what we're looking at heading into the weekend. I'll talk more about the snow potential. I know it perks ears, 4-letter words, those sort of things. But it probably won't be a huge amount. It's just the first flake.
Yeah, that's always a big deal, the first. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Rusty. All right. Jared, you told us about that crash on 370 earlier. How are things looking?
Well, it's still impacting things, and particularly if you're right around 36, it's in the intersection. Yeah.
So that's always a problem when you have it in the intersection. So let's take a look at what the latest is. The good news is we're starting to move in the right direction. We have a tow truck here and we're starting to move some of these vehicles, but in the short term, westbound traffic is blocked on 370, so you aren't able to get through here at this time. You can see everyone's kind of turning off onto 36th. So you need to plan accordingly. This likely won't be here too long, but the next 10 to 15 minutes, you probably won't be able to get through that stretch there on westbound 370. So you'll need to go north, and you can see how things are a little slow as you're going northbound on 36. We zoom things out, kind of give you your options here. Your alternate route, of course, take 36 and make your way to Cornhusker. You can also make your way either on 25th or on the JFK. We did overnight have the ramp closed from northbound JFK to Cornhusker. That has since reopened, so you can use that as your option and then go westbound and proceed to wherever your destination is from there. I will continue to track that, give you the first alert when that does open up. Speaking of the JFK, this is a little odd what is going on here. We've got quite the delays that are showing up northbound on the Gilmore Bridge, and it's a little unclear exactly what the issue is that is causing this. We did have a stalled vehicle right in this spot southbound. That is gone at this point, but we are looking at quite the slowdowns northbound on the JFK. I'll continue tracking that as well. Be ready for that to be a slow spot. Maybe consider Fort Crook as an alternate route as opposed to what you're seeing there on the JFK. Those are our biggest issues. So Sarpy, we're kind of struggling a little bit in a couple spots, but doing pretty well elsewhere in the metro at this point this morning. You see Dodge moving along pretty well out east, or out west, I should say, eastbound traffic looking pretty good. We will want to keep an eye out for potential issues with sun glare. That was a problem for us yesterday morning. So far, so good, but I'll be watching that. I'll update again here in 10 minutes.
We'll see you shortly.
Yes.
All right, Jared, thank you.
There's a changing at the top of the guard at a top state position in Nebraska. Governor Jim Pillen announcing that State Treasurer Tom Breezy is retiring. Breezy held the job for 2 years after serving as a state senator for 7. He says he needs to spend more time with his family. Replacing Breezy is Fremont Mayor, Fremont Mayor Joey Spellerberg. He says the job offer came to him as quite the surprise.
To give back through public service is something that my dad always said it was better to give than to receive. And today, just an example of where my heart is for that and the purpose behind wanting to take this opportunity as state treasurer.
Spellerberg says his last day serving as mayor of Fremont is tomorrow. He'll be sworn in as state treasurer Thursday.
Well, Governor Jim Pillen says the ICE detention facility in McCook will begin accepting detainees within the next couple of days. Pillen expects it'll take between 2 to 3 weeks to get to 200 detainees. He says the facility will likely hit its cap of 300 by the end of the year. Now, before it transitioned to an ICE detention facility, 193 inmates called the work ethic camp home. Of that total, 172 of them are still in custody, having moved to different facilities. 16 of them were paroled, 3 discharged from corrections altogether, and 2 are now on probation. So let's break down the current locations of those 172 inmates. 92 of them are in community corrections in Lincoln. 54 are at the state pen. 10 are in community corrections in Omaha. 9 are at the Omaha Correctional Center, and 7 are in reception and treatment in Lincoln.
Cerise, thank you. Now to Marie Cade at the safety desk. Maria, walking on a daily basis isn't just good for your body, also good for the mind.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about this pretty often, but there's a new study that says increasing the number of steps that you take every day, it might actually slow cognitive decline. So the study focused on older adults who already have those early signs of Alzheimer's disease. Researchers say physical activities like walking could slow the buildup of the protein in our bodies that is usually linked to memory loss. People who had at least 3,000 steps every day seem to delay that cognitive decline by about 3 years. That went up to 7 years for people who did at least 5,000 steps a day. Now, experts say actions that are good for the heart, like walking, have also been shown to be good for your brain as well.
Okay. Good things for both. All right, Marie Cade, thank you. We're back after this.
Welcome back, everybody. Sure hope your morning's getting off to a nice start. It's actually a beautiful start to our morning. A little on the cool side in the 40s, but we've got sunshine. And what we're in for today is really should make you smile, because we don't have too many of these days in November, right?
Yeah, these are pretty rare. You get up near 70 degrees, have 70s of any sort for an afternoon high. So hope you get a chance to enjoy it. It's a shame that, the sun sets around 5 o'clock.
I know.
So not a lot of afternoon to enjoy, but let's talk about where we're headed here. It does look like you'll probably still want a coat to start the day. We're down in the 40s, so jacket, warm hat. But any clouds that are out there are moving out, and the sunshine's going to win out today and help us warm. Not much in the way of wind gusts to worry about to start off the day, so that's good news. And first alert forecast takes us up to near 70 by 3 o'clock, and then temperatures back off pretty quickly. Once that sun sets, we should drop off into the 50s. So pretty uneventful day. Then it's all about the first alert 6 weather day, Saturday night into Sunday. Some Saturday evening rain, maybe a little melting snow mixed in. Likely not a huge deal with the mounts or impacts, but the first flakes of the season could be a little startling. That fast moving system brings some strong wind behind it for the overnight hours, and temperatures will dip down into the 20s to start off Sunday morning. Let's talk a little bit about the snow, and I'll show you why it's probably not the biggest aspect of this, but I want to bring it to your attention because you can see near and northeast of the metro, there could be a little coating of snow, maybe a half an inch at most, I would say. Bigger problems are going to be up around Sioux Falls down to Waterloo if this thing materializes. So that's what we'll be watching on, and that's why we kept the chances fairly low. It's just kind of a glancing blow for us, just getting grazed by it, but it will bring the colder air down to 26 Sunday morning. That's the bigger story here, and that'll plunge in Saturday night. So Saturday night, protect any above ground water lines, drain any garden hoses. Those could freeze up very easily as our first widespread 20s on the way, and it does look like it'll be pretty nice leading up to that. A dip there on Wednesday, back up Thursday, and a little better idea of the Saturday forecast here. Oh, there we go. With this system diving in from the northwest. So there's going to be the majority of the snow to the north of our area into the northeast, just kind of getting grazed by a rain and melting mix, I would say, Saturday evening. So factor that into your plans if you have any there. Those should move out pretty quickly on Sunday and very early on Sunday and not be a huge issue. It's mostly about the cold with this one that this system brings behind it, the way things are looking. So pretty comfortable weather there for the first half of your 10-day forecast heading into this upcoming weekend.
All right, but I think folks want to know, is this going to be continuing into the next couple of weeks of November?
And that's the thing. This looks like a very short-lived bout of cold air. You got Sunday morning and Monday morning to watch where we dip down into that hard freeze range, close to freezing Tuesday. But you can see how quickly it rebounds heading into the middle of next week. And you even look beyond warmer than average weather, trying to win out over much of the country through the middle of November. So like I mentioned earlier on, the first half of November's going to be on the warmer side. You just can't rule out short little cold bursts like this. And that's what we're dealing with for this upcoming weekend, Saturday night through about Monday, I'd say.
All right, Jared has been running around frantically during your weather. Looks like you somewhere on Highway 75, some action.
So JFK, it's unclear exactly what the issue is.
Yeah.
But we've got big delays that are showing up, and this is as you're getting near the Gilmore Bridge. This is the slowdown we were just talking about a little bit ago, and you can see we've got emergency crews that are present here as you're going. This is northbound, by the way. This is kind of going on, and I think whatever our problem is behind this pole, so if we could move that pole, that would help us see exactly the problem. But we look to have the left lane blocked. So you need to stay right as you're heading through here. Be ready for delays if you're going to try to go through on the JFK, whether it's a crash, a stall, exactly what the problem is. But you can see that the speeds are not good. They're peaking at about 15 miles per hour as you're getting from about Childs up through Chandler and closer to that Gilmore Bridge. So you may consider using the Fort Crook as an alternate route here to avoid those big slowdowns that you have in place there on the JFK northbound where we are seeing those issues. Now, I do have some good news. Our problem at 36 and Highway 370 has cleared. That crash is gone. The vehicle's towed away and all lanes now open. So we should start to see these delays improving here as we have seen that crash clear, and we are looking at kind of getting the new data in there. That should help to alleviate that problem. And when we look elsewhere, we don't really have too many other big problems at this point. We've got the beginnings of our delays eastbound on Dodge. Remember, we typically get slow in that area anyway, but we also have some sun glare that we may have to deal with for our eastbound drivers, so I'll be watching to see if that becomes a factor for us. 370, another spot that typically gets slow as you're approaching I-80 in sun glare mornings. And I'll keep an eye on I-80. Yesterday we had a number of problems on I-80 as we got toward about this point in the morning. So far so good, but I'll keep an eye on that and let you know if that becomes a bigger problem. But by far right now, it's the JFK where we have our big problem.
For sure. All right, Jared, thank you. Happening today, voters in Valley will decide if Mayor Cindy Grove and City Council President John Batcher will stay in their current roles.
Yeah, the mayor is accused of violating open meeting laws and creating a hostile work environment. Councilman Batcher is accused of prioritizing special interests over his job as a public servant. The election is mail-in only, so you must return your ballots to the Douglas County Election Commission drop box today by 5 o'clock. Happening today, the Omaha City Council set to accept a bid to repair an eyesore in central Omaha.
Yeah, it's for a damaged fence at the Omaha Public Library branch near 90th and Dodge. And we previously reported on this issue back in March. At the time, we saw holes in the fence and a down light pole. Also happening today at City Council, a public hearing on an ordinance involving backyard chickens. And the Douglas County Board of Commissioners are expected to consider helping distribute $200,000 in funding to help local food pantries. The board tells us the money would be divided evenly to 8 local nonprofits across Douglas County. They add this would complement the city's food drive, which runs through tomorrow. We do have a list of all those drop-off locations on our website, firstalert6.com. And the Pottawatomie County Board of Supervisors is set to discuss and possibly decide on starting its own food drive.
Well, this actor is dancing through life and right onto the cover of People magazine.
Yeah, we talk this year's Sexiest Man Alive when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Jonathan Bailey has been named Sexiest Man Alive for 2025 by People magazine.
Good choice. Magazine revealed its pick on last night's episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. The Wicked franchise star made an appearance during the show. Both his covers were revealed. Bailey told Fallon it's an honor of a lifetime while signing his copy of the magazine. He joins a long list of People's Sexiest Man Alive alum, including Patrick Dempsey, Idris Elba, Blake Shelton, Shelton, Ryan Reynolds. Bailey has gone on and acted in Bridgerton. He was also in the most recent Jurassic World movie, Jurassic World Rebirth, and Fellow Travelers as well.
I think I support that decision. I didn't know who he was because I didn't, I'm
For sure.
pop culture. I'm not like I used to be, but yeah, I feel like that's a good decision. But good job, people.
Handsome
Well, you know,
guy.
the past couple of years, they've picked people who maybe it was a little bit behind the curve. Like maybe they should have been given
Such
it
as?
a couple of years ago.
Such as?
Patrick Dempsey. I was kind of shocked that he hadn't gotten it before.
Yeah.
Even Chris Evans, too. You would think that he would have gotten it. at the height
Patrick
of
Dempsey should have got
Marvel,
a
but-
long time ago. Yeah.
But this is Jonathan Bailey's prime. Like he's in everything, every project. So definitely makes sense.
I agree.
What do you think, Jarrett?
I could see the appeal.
Okay. We're just sitting here like,
We can say that fellow guys are good looking. That's okay.
I just said we had no comment, and they're just all kind of talking.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update into today's show. Of course, you can watch it here on streaming or over our air.
Have a great start to your Tuesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get right to your traffic update with Jaron Lansford.
And we were looking at big issues on the JFK northbound with a crash blocking the left lane as you're getting onto the Gilmore Bridge, and delays that extend quite a ways down, all the way back toward about Cornhusker at this point. There you can see the situation, so you need to stay right, be ready for these delays. It's crawling on the JFK as a result of this, and you can see it all the way now to 370. So it's a good morning to consider using Fort Crook here as your alternate route. It's moving along a lot better than the JFK at this point. That's where our biggest issues lie. We're starting to get delays on Dodge eastbound as you get toward about 168th and 180th. Watch for potential sun glare as you're heading eastbound, that also impacting 370 as you're heading east toward I-80. Rusty.
Got to slow down there for sure. All right, let's talk about where temperatures are this morning. We're in the 40s to start off, mid 40s all over the area, 42 to about 46 right now. So a chilly start, but not too bad. You got a few little sprinkles trying to show up, but mostly these are just clouds exiting to the east. First alert forecast takes us from the 40s this morning up to near 70, but that's by 3 o'clock. Remember, that's when the high temperature is this time of year, with the time change around 3. South breeze during the course of the day flips out of the north, gust to near 30, 35 by early tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a bit of a windy start to tomorrow, and then that should back off, but a cooler high of 57. First alert 6 weather day Saturday for a little melting mix Saturday evening, and then it's mostly for the widespread hard freeze that we have on the way Sunday morning, and likely again by Monday morning. Aaron?
Valley voters will decide if Mayor Cindy Grove and City Council President John Batcher will stay in their current roles. You must return your ballots to the Douglas County Election Commission drop box by 5 o'clock today.
It is 7:28, and we're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.